Deep in the jungle of central Vietnam, there's a wonder of the world.
Wow, that is amazing.
A lost universe that hides a unique ecosystem.
It doesn't happen anywhere else on this planet.
I think that's just about the holy grail for a biologist.
And a team of scientists and explorers with a mission.
This is an amazing cave.
Look at that.
Absolutely staggering.
To discover what makes this the world's biggest cave.
Wow.
Vietnam's Mountain River Cave, or Han Song Dong, is uncharted territory. More people have trodden on the moon than have entered this giant cave system. This team of scientists and cavers are about to embark on a journey of discovery to see if this cave is the largest in the world.
This is an absolutely amazing cave. It's huge. We're just in the entrance now. It's going to get so much bigger.
That's amazing. Absolutely wonderful. This is definitely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm so excited about being here. Practically the first person to set foot into the cave. It's a wonderful opportunity.
In 2009, caver Jonathan Sims was one of the first humans ever to enter here. But deep into the long cave passage, he was stopped short by a forbidding rock face. Now he's back with caving expert and expedition leader Howard Limbert. He has the right climbing equipment to climb the wall and a commitment to crack the secrets of this cave and claim a world record.
It's just about to happen. This is part of our team. These folks were amazing and such a big help. While waiting for the beam of light to appear, we enjoyed some leaves falling from above. It was so magical. Here's my little landing platform with the Go Professional case we use to protect our gear. So now the sun is shining through the opening and I am exploring it with the Inspire. The aerodynamics proved very interesting here as we had some wind coming in from above and also the heated air created some interesting pushes and pulls. This can be seen here going down. Tilting the camera up, I am now looking towards the darker area of the cave. And then flying through the condensation, it was just so stunning. Look at how this beam of light creates this incredible atmosphere inside the cave. One of our porters was the model of this shot. We placed him on this huge stalagmite just so we could get a scale. This to me was my favorite location to fly. It just looks so out of this world. Unreal. Flying backwards, away from the beam of light, through the cloud layer and down to the cave below
Deep in the heart of Mountain River Cave lie the magical and mysterious Dolines.
Wow.
Here, the cave roof has collapsed inwards, allowing sunlight to flood in, connecting above and below ground with the vital ingredients of life, water and light.
Man, this is the world's biggest cave. The rest of this stuff is just building up to it. That is amazing. That's 1.5 kilometers away. That is huge. But that looks like, it's 100 meters away, like we're in a normal-sized cave. That's 1.5 kilometers. It's hard to even imagine how big that passage is.
Here, a unique mini jungle has taken root 400 meters below the surface of the Earth.
Seeing the jungle, basically, in the middle of the caves is one of the most beautiful sights. It's just absolutely incredible.
It's got to be one of the wonders of the world. It doesn't happen anywhere else on this planet.
I think that's just about the holy grail for a biologist.
The Doline is an unexpected window for Granger into the structure of the limestone here. It's also a view of Mountain River Cave's Achilles heel.
This is a good example of a special type of doline. This is a collapsed doline. So that happens when you have a cave passage and then the surface collapses into that cave. And it happened here because we have really thin beds. You can sort of see them on the back side of the wall, and they're just not strong enough to hold up this cave roof.
At some point in the cave's past, the river ate away at the cave roof where the limestone beds are thinner. The river undermined the ceiling rock so much that eventually the roof collapsed. This collapse is known as cantilever failure.
You can think about, theoretically at least, having a piece of rock sticking out like a diving board. You can only stick it out so far before it breaks off under its own weight. And that's exactly what happens. As you make the cave bigger and bigger, you're forcing basically a diving board of rock, a slab of rock, to stick out and support its own weight.
The limestone beds in this part of Vietnam are especially thick, with very few cracks or weak points. The river tunnels through this landscape of pure limestone. The dolines brutally reveal the few places where the rock beds are thinner, and so weaker. Here, open to the sun and the rain, life has taken hold.
Sleepwalking, or somnambulism, involves walking and other behaviors that are performed during incomplete arousal from sleep. Sleepwalking episodes can last for anywhere from a few seconds to longer than 30 minutes, and sleepwalking behaviors can vary in their complexity from basic behaviors such as pointing or walking around a room to complicated procedures like getting dressed, cooking, or driving a car. Sleepwalkers may be difficult to arouse during a sleepwalking episode and confused when they awake from one, and they may have complete or partial amnesia for the episode. Sleepwalking occurs more frequently in children than in adults, but childhood sleepwalking is typically benign, while adult sleepwalking is more likely to result in injury to the sleepwalker or others. During sleep, the brain transitions through several stages characterized by unique patterns of brain activity. Sleepwalking typically occurs during stage 3 non-REM sleep, also known as slow wave sleep. The neuroscience underlying sleepwalking is not completely understood, but current evidence suggests that it may emerge from a coexistence of wake and sleep-like activity occurring in different parts of the brain at the same time. For example, some studies of sleepwalkers during sleepwalking episodes have found brain activity suggestive of wakefulness in areas like the motor cortex, which is involved with movement, but activity suggestive of slow-wave sleep in areas involved in complex cognition and conscious awareness, such as the prefrontal cortex. This type of incongruity might explain why sleepwalkers move around with limited awareness of their actions. Wake-like activity during sleep in other areas of the brain, such as those involved in emotional reactions, could explain other aspects of sleepwalking, such as the fact that many sleepwalkers report experiencing strong emotions associated with their episodes. On the other hand, persistence of sleep states in areas like the hippocampus, which is involved in memory consolidation, could explain why sleepwalkers sometimes do not remember the sleepwalking incident or certain aspects of it.
Scientists in Spain have unlocked the genetic code of the immortal jellyfish, a creature capable of repeatedly reverting into a juvenile state, and found that the species has double copies of genes that protect and repair DNA. The finding could provide clues to human aging and age-related conditions. The lifespan of a Greenland shark is up to 500 years, and the giant barrel sponge lives over 2,000 years. But the longest living animal on Earth is the Turritopsis dohrnii, the immortal jellyfish, a creature that can seemingly escape from death altogether. A new study led by Carlos López Otín, professor of biochemistry and molecular biology at the University of Oviedo, may have unlocked the secret of the Turritopsis dohrnii's immortality. In their study, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, Maria Pascual-Torner, Dido Carrero, and colleagues mapped the genetic sequence of Turritopsis dohrnii. This is the only known jellyfish species able to revert to a larval stage after sexual reproduction. Over and over again, jellyfish start their lives as drifting larvae. They eventually attach to the seafloor, develop into sprout-like polyps, and clone themselves, forming stacked, sedentary colonies that bud off into free-swimming umbrella-shaped medusas. That stage is a dead end for most jellyfish, but the immortal jellyfish can reverse the cycle. When times get tough, like in harsh environments or after injury, they melt their bodies into amorphous cysts, reattach to the seafloor, and regress into polyps. They can restart the cycle indefinitely to skirt death by old age. To find out how the immortal jellyfish staves off aging, the researchers sequenced its genome, its complete set of genetic instructions, and compared it to that of the related but mortal crimson jellyfish, the Turritopsis rubra. They found that the immortal jellyfish had twice as many copies of genes associated with DNA repair and protection. These duplicates could produce greater amounts of protective and restorative proteins. The jellyfish also had unique mutations that stunted cell division and prevented telomeres, chromosomes' protective caps, from deteriorating. Then, to pinpoint how Turritopsis dohrnii reverts into polyp form, the scientists looked at which genes were active during this reverse metamorphosis. The team found the jelly's silenced developmental genes to return cells to a primordial state and activated other genes that allow the developing cells to re-specialize once a new medusa buds off. Together, Pascual-Torner says, these genetic alterations shield the animal from the weathering of time. The genes identified in this study could be relevant to human aging. They could inspire regenerative medicine or provide insights into age-related diseases like cancer and neurodegeneration. The next step is to explore these mechanisms in more detail, using other techniques, Pascual-Torner says. Human immortality is, so it seems, one step closer.
They estimate the wall is around 5 kilometers into the cave. It will take the team 7 grueling days to get there and back, from the initial 100-meter abseil at the entrance through to the final survey point at the Great Wall of Vietnam. After the abseil, there's a 350-meter scramble leading to the first of 2 river crossings. From here, the team need to climb high, following the river through the natural valley of the cave. Then, it's a descent down to a level sandy area and to the first of 2 collapsed areas within the cave, known as dolines. These dolines and the cave beyond is where Becher hopes to find new life forms, and Granger the secret of how the cave was formed. It's then through a narrow section, a rat run, and across the larger Doline and onto the second camp. The final part of the cave surveyed so far is the last 400 meters before the Great Wall of Vietnam, and then it's into the unknown.
They got to the door line and they saw there's just a shaft going up and it's 200 metres to the lowest point, so there's obviously no easy way out, but they could see in the distance the second door line. And when they continued to the second door line, which is probably the most famous door line because it's got enormous trees, it's got a big forest that takes about 30 minutes to walk over. But when they first saw that, they thought, oh, that's definitely the end of the cave. It was only when they climbed all the way up the hill into the door line they realised that this was another window into the cave with 200-metre cliffs, and there's no way out of the cave there. What's more interesting for scientists, there's some very, very rare endangered plants there.